Welcome to this audiobook. Never tell people what you do, focus in silence, win in public. If you are here, it means you are searching for something deeper than noise. You want clarity, strength, and success that does not depend on the opinions of others. Too often, we waste our energy by talking about our dreams instead of building them. We announce our plans, explain our goals, and wait for validation. But true success does not need an announcement. True success is silent in the making and loud in the results. In this book, you will learn the power of silence, the discipline of focus, and the wisdom of keeping your journey private until the right moment. You will see why speaking less makes you stronger, why mystery attracts respect, and why real winners work in shadows before they shine in public. Before we begin, I ask you to do one thing. If you enjoy learning about growth, discipline, and success, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss the wisdom that can change your life. Now, let us step into the first chapter and uncover the power of silence. Chapter 1. The power of silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is power. In a world that is constantly speaking, constantly posting, constantly shouting, silence has become rare, and whatever is rare becomes valuable. Think about the loudest person in the room. They talk so much that after a while people stop listening. Their voice becomes background noise, but the quiet person, the one who speaks only when necessary, commands attention. When they finally say something, people lean in. That is the power of silence. Silence creates presence. It makes others curious. It makes them wonder what you are thinking, what you are planning, what you are building. Human nature is attracted to mystery, and silence is mystery made visible. But silence is not just about how others see you, it is about how you build yourself. When you are silent, you hear more. You notice details others miss. You listen, you observe, and you learn. Every moment of silence becomes an opportunity to gather wisdom. Consider the example of a master chess player. They do not shout about their next move. They do not announce their strategy. They sit quietly, eyes on the board, thinking 10 steps ahead. The silence is not emptiness, it is strategy. In the same way, your silence allows you to think, to plan, and to move with purpose. Silence also protects your energy. Every word you speak takes something out of you. When you constantly explain yourself to others, when you share every idea, every plan, you are giving away energy that could have gone into action. Talking drains, silence stores. Talking scatters, silence focuses. Think about how many times people announce big plans but never follow through. They tell the world they will start a business, write a book, or change their life. And for a moment, the announcement feels good. They get applause, encouragement, or attention, but then the energy fades, because they have already felt the reward of being noticed. The real work never happens. Silence avoids this trap. By keeping your plans private, you keep your energy for the action that matters. Silence is also discipline. It is not easy to stay quiet when you are excited. It is tempting to share everything with friends, family, or social media, but discipline says, not yet. Let me work first. Let me build. Let me prove it with results. This discipline strengthens your mind because it trains you to choose long-term reward over short-term satisfaction. In history, many great leaders understood the power of silence. They listened more than they spoke. They revealed their plans only after they had already taken action. Their silence gave them an advantage, because no one could predict their next move. In business, in war, in art, silence has always been the secret weapon of the wise. Silence also helps you master yourself. When you are quiet, you hear your own thoughts more clearly. You begin to notice your doubts, your fears, your desires. You cannot control your mind if it is always drowned in noise. Silence creates space for reflection, and reflection creates growth. There is also spiritual power in silence. Many traditions teach that silence is where you find clarity, peace, and connection to something higher. In silence, you step away from the chaos of the world and hear the truth inside yourself. Success is not only about doing more. Sometimes it is about being still enough to know your direction. Some people fear silence. They fear being alone with their thoughts. They fill every quiet moment with music, chatter, or distraction. But this fear shows that silence is exactly what they need. Facing silence is like facing yourself. It is uncomfortable at first, but it makes you stronger. When you learn to love silence, you no longer need constant approval. You no longer need to prove yourself with words. You become content with working in the dark, knowing that the results will shine in the light. Silence becomes your shield, your strength, and your secret advantage. The world rewards those who act, not those who only talk. When you practice silence, you protect your dreams until they are strong enough to stand. Then, when you finally reveal them, no one can deny what you have built. That is how silence wins. So as you move forward, remember this truth. Silence is not the absence of sound. Silence is the presence of focus. It is the space where vision grows, where energy gathers, and where strength is born. The power of silence is the foundation of every great success, and once you master it, your actions will speak louder than any words ever could. Chapter 2. Why people don't need to know your plans. Most people believe that sharing their plans makes them stronger. They think if they tell friends, family, or the world what they are working on, it will give them accountability, motivation, and support. But in reality, telling people your plans often weakens them. The more you talk, the less you do. When you speak about your dreams, you invite opinions. Some will encourage you, but many will doubt you. Even if you believe in yourself, hearing constant questions and skepticism can slowly create doubt in your own mind. Words from others have weight, and that weight can push you off balance. A seed grows best in quiet soil, not when everyone is digging around it. There is also the danger of judgment. Once you tell people your plans, they begin to watch. They measure your progress. They expect results on their timeline, not yours. And if you stumble, they remind you of your failure. Instead of freedom, your dream becomes a performance for others. Instead of working in peace, you carry the pressure of their eyes. Keeping your plans private frees you from this trap. But the biggest danger is the illusion of progress. When you announce a goal, your brain feels as if part of the work is already done. You get praise, applause, and recognition, and it feels good. But that good feeling steals the fire that should have pushed you to act. You enjoy the reward before you have earned it. That is why so many people talk big, but never follow through. Their energy is spent in words, not in work. Silence, on the other hand, keeps your energy stored. When no one knows what you are building, you do not waste time explaining yourself. You do not lose focus defending your choices. You put all your energy into the action itself. Your plans stay pure, untouched by the noise of other people's doubts or opinions. Privacy also creates protection. Not everyone who hears your dream wants you to succeed. Some will secretly compete with you. Some will discourage you out of envy. Some will even try to steal your ideas. By keeping your plans quiet, you avoid unnecessary exposure. You build in safety. No one can attack what they cannot see. Think of great innovators, leaders, and creators. Many of them worked silently for years before the world saw their achievements. They did not waste time telling everyone what they were going to do. They simply did it. By the time people found out, the work was already strong enough to stand on its own. There is a unique kind of power in surprising the world. Imagine showing results without anyone expecting them. People are shocked, impressed, and inspired all at once. That impact is far greater than any words could ever create. It shows discipline, patience, and strength. Not telling people your plans does not mean isolation. It means choosing carefully who deserves to know. Share with those who are directly helping you, not with everyone who is simply curious. Trust is precious, and your vision is fragile in the beginning. Protect it as you would protect a flame from the wind. The truth is simple. If you want to achieve something great, you do not need everyone's approval. You need focus. You need consistency. You need silence. Let people see the results when the time is right. Until then, keep building, keep working, and let your success make the announcement for you. Chapter 3: Focus builds results. Success is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right things with full attention. Focus is the bridge between dreams and results. Without focus, even the best ideas fade into nothing. With focus, even small actions grow into powerful achievements. Look at the way most people live. They start something, then get distracted. They set a goal, then get lost in 100 side tasks. They want quick results, so they jump from one idea to another, never giving their full energy to one path. In the end, they wonder why nothing works. The answer is simple. Without focus, effort is wasted. Focus is like sunlight. When sunlight spreads everywhere, it warms but does not burn. But when you concentrate it through a magnifying glass, it becomes fire. The same energy directed with focus creates impact. Your mind works the same way. Scattered attention keeps you busy but not productive. Focused attention creates results that no distraction can match. There is discipline in focus. It requires you to say no. No to distractions. No to meaningless conversations. No to short-term pleasures that pull you away from your purpose. Every yes to your goal requires 1,000 no's to everything else. That is why focus is rare. It takes strength to protect your attention in a world designed to steal it. But the rewards of focus are undeniable. When you commit yourself to one clear goal and remove distractions, your progress multiplies. Tasks that once felt overwhelming become simple because you are no longer dividing your energy. A few hours of deep focus often achieve more than weeks of half-hearted effort. History proves this again and again. The greatest inventors, artists, athletes, and leaders all mastered focus. They did not try to be everywhere, to please everyone, or to chase every opportunity. They chose one path, gave it their full energy, and let results speak for them. Focus gave them clarity, and clarity gave them power. Focus also creates peace. Distraction is noisy. It fills the mind with chaos. But when you know exactly what you are working on, your mind becomes calm. You stop worrying about what others are doing. You stop comparing yourself to their progress. Focus keeps your eyes on your own path, and in that path, you find strength. The real magic of focus is in consistency. It is not about working harder one time, but about working steadily every day. Focus allows you to build habits that carry you forward, even when motivation fades. It makes you patient enough to wait for results, because you know every step is adding up to something greater. There will always be temptations to break your focus. People will pull you into their problems. Social media will beg for your attention. Doubt will whisper that maybe you should try something else. But if you can resist, if you can hold your focus, like a flame in the wind, you will find that success is not about chance. It is about staying locked on your vision until it becomes reality. In silence, you protect your plans. In privacy, you keep your energy. And with focus, you turn that energy into results. That is why focus is not just a tool. It is the foundation of winning in public after working in silence. Chapter 4: Energy leaks through words. Every action begins with energy. Your thoughts, your plans, your goals, all of them require energy to grow. But here is the hidden truth. The moment you start talking too much about them, you lose that energy. Words, when wasted, become leaks in your power. Think about the last time you told someone about a goal you had. Maybe you said you were going to start a business, write a book, or change your habits. The moment you spoke about it, people reacted. Some clapped for you, some doubted you, Some asked endless questions. For a short moment, you felt a sense of pride, as if you had already accomplished something. That satisfaction was not real achievement. It was only borrowed energy, stolen by words. The brain plays a trick on you. When you tell others what you plan to do, your mind rewards you with the same feeling as if you had already done it. The applause, the attention, even the curiosity. It gives you a false sense of completion. That is why many people announce big dreams, but never take big steps. They have already enjoyed the reward in words, so the hunger to act disappears. Words also invite resistance. The more people know what you are planning, the more opinions they throw at you. Some of those opinions create doubt, others create fear. Each word they give takes away from your focus. Instead of building, you find yourself defending. Instead of moving forward, you waste time explaining. Your energy leaks through the endless conversations. Silence protects this energy. When you hold back your words, you keep the fire inside. You don't trade your vision for temporary attention. You don't waste your energy convincing others. Instead, you store it, channel it, and release it through action. And action, unlike words, builds real progress. This is not to say you should never speak. Words have power when used with purpose. But casual words, careless words, constant talking, these are leaks. Every time you tell people what you are going to do instead of actually doing it, you weaken your momentum. Discipline in speech is discipline in energy. Look at the strongest achievers. They do not waste energy in endless explanations. They guard their words the way a warrior guards his weapon. They know every word carries power, and wasted power is lost forever. They speak only when necessary, and when they do, their words are backed by results, not empty promises. Protecting your energy means speaking less and doing more. It means remembering that silence is not emptiness. It is storage. It is a reservoir of power waiting for the right moment to be released. And when you finally reveal what you have built, the impact will be 10 times greater because you saved your energy for action, not for talk. The next time you feel tempted to announce your plans, pause. Ask yourself, am I building or am I leaking? If it is only talk, stay silent. Let your results speak when the time is right. Chapter 5. Work in the shadows. Real growth rarely happens in the spotlight. The most important progress takes place when no one is watching, in the quiet hours, away from the noise of attention. This is the power of working in the shadow. When you work in silence, you give yourself freedom. Freedom to experiment, to fail, to learn without judgment. Nobody is watching, so there is no pressure to impress. You can take your time, make mistakes, and grow stronger without carrying the weight of other people's opinions. The shadows are where skills are sharpened, ideas are tested, and foundations are built. Every visible success has years of invisible preparation behind it. A tree shows its branches to the world, but its strength comes from the roots hidden beneath the ground. In the same way, your visible achievements will only be as strong as the unseen effort you put in when nobody was looking. The shadows protect your focus. In the spotlight, distraction is everywhere. People pull you in different directions, opinions crowd your mind, and the pressure to perform steals your energy. But in the shadows, you are alone with your work. You answer to no one but yourself. That solitude creates clarity, and clarity produces results. Working in the shadows also builds patience. In a world addicted to instant recognition, choosing to stay invisible requires discipline. You resist the temptation of quick applause. You choose long-term strength over short-term attention. And because of that, when you finally emerge, your work carries weight. It is undeniable, because it has been tested and refined in silence. Think of great athletes training before a championship. The world only sees them under the bright lights of the competition, but their true victories were earned in empty gyms and lonely mornings. Think of an author who releases a masterpiece. The world celebrates the book, but the real work was done in endless nights of writing that no one applauded. Shadows are where greatness is built. The mistake most people make is chasing recognition too early. They want to be seen before they are ready. They want credit before they have done the work. But exposure without preparation is dangerous. It sets expectations you may not be able to meet, and it creates pressure that can crush fragile beginnings. Staying hidden protects you until you are strong enough to stand in the light. When you work in the shadows, you develop resilience. You stop depending on praise to keep you going. You learn to push yourself without needing an audience. That self-reliance becomes a powerful weapon. Because if you can build in silence, you can achieve in silence. And when the time comes to step into the light, the results will be so strong that you won't need to explain yourself. Shadows are not weakness. Shadows are preparation. They are the training ground of greatness, the place where discipline, patience, and skill are born. When the world finally sees what you have built, it will not be because you shouted. It will be because you worked quietly, consistently, and relentlessly until the results spoke for you. Chapter 6. Let your success make the noise. Silence is powerful, not because it hides you forever, but because it prepares you for the moment when your results are too strong to be ignored. That is the beauty of letting success make the noise. Instead of wasting your energy in talk, you allow your work to speak with a voice louder than any words could ever create. The world pays attention to results. Promises fade, but achievements shine. You can talk endlessly about your goals, but until you show something real, people will not take you seriously. On the other hand, when you appear with proof, when you bring undeniable evidence of your effort, suddenly the same people who ignored you are forced to listen. Success is undeniable. You do not need to convince anyone when the results are in front of them. You do not have to argue, defend, or explain. Your work becomes your introduction, your proof, and your reputation. That is why silence is not about weakness. It is about saving your voice until your results are strong enough to shout on their own. Think of a student who studies quietly for years while others are busy showing off. On the day of the exam, when the results are released, the quiet one rises above everyone else. Or think of a creator who spends months perfecting their craft without posting constant updates. When their work is finally revealed, it shocks people with its quality. The surprise itself becomes power. When success makes the noise, it carries more impact because no one saw it coming. People may have underestimated you, doubted you, or even forgotten you, but when your results appear, they cannot be ignored. The silence before creates contrast. The quiet before the storm. That contrast is what makes the noise so powerful. Letting your success speak also protects your energy. You do not waste time defending yourself from critics or trying to impress those who doubt you. You focus only on building, and when the building is done, when the structure stands tall, it commands respect without asking for it. But there is another advantage. The respect that comes from results is real. Words may earn you temporary attention, but results earn you lasting recognition. People may forget what you said, but they will remember what you achieved. They may argue with your ideas, but they cannot argue with your proof. Success silences even the loudest critic. The truth is, the loudest people are not always the strongest. The ones who constantly shout about their goals often fall silent when it is time to deliver. The quiet ones, the ones who stay focused and consistent, are the ones who eventually rise above. Their silence was never emptiness, it was preparation. So, hold back your words, protect your energy, work in the shadows. When the time is right, let your success make the noise for you, because, in the end, success is the only voice that the world cannot ignore. Chapter 7. Silence builds strength. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is not weakness. Silence is a form of strength, one that grows quietly inside you while the world remains unaware. In silence, you are not wasting energy explaining yourself. You are not defending your dreams or seeking approval. You are simply building, layer by layer, until the strength you carry is impossible to deny. Most people fear silence. They feel the need to fill every space with words, every pause with noise, every quiet moment with distraction. But those who can stay silent discover a deeper kind of power. They discover discipline. They discover control. They discover that silence is not about having nothing to say. It is about choosing when to say it. Silence protects your confidence. The more you talk about your goals, the more you open the door for doubt to enter. Critics question you, friends unintentionally discourage you, and suddenly you begin to second-guess yourself. But in silence, you shut those doors. You hold your vision privately, like a secret treasure that only you understand. That privacy strengthens your belief. Silence also trains your patience. The world today moves fast. People want instant results, instant recognition, instant approval, but success is rarely instant. It requires long hours, unseen effort, and slow growth. Silence helps you endure that process. It keeps you grounded while your foundation is forming. And when your time comes, you are stronger because you have already practiced patience. Even in conflict, silence is power. The one who reacts the loudest is often the weakest, because they have lost control. The one who remains calm, who chooses silence instead of rage, holds the real strength. Silence allows you to think before acting, to choose strategy over impulse, to move with purpose instead of emotion. Look at nature. The strongest forces are often silent. The earth grows forests without a sound. Mountains rise without announcing themselves. Even rivers carve valleys over centuries without demanding attention. Power does not always need noise. It proves itself quietly through consistency and persistence. When you practice silence, you give yourself the same advantage. You stop scattering your energy in useless conversations. You stop seeking validation from others. Instead, you store that energy, building inner strength that no one can see until it is revealed through action. That hidden strength is what carries you through challenges that others cannot handle. Remember this. Silence is not about staying invisible forever. It is about preparation. It is about becoming so strong in the quiet that when you finally step into the light, you are unshakable. Your silence was never weakness. It was the gym where your character was trained, the workshop where your skills were sharpened, the temple where your focus was purified. The world will eventually hear you, but when they do, it will not be because you shouted. It will be because you stayed silent long enough to build the strength that speaks for itself. Chapter 8. Mastering Emotional Control. Your mind can be your greatest ally or your most dangerous enemy. And the difference lies in how well you control your emotions. Success is not just about intelligence or talent. It is about the ability to remain steady when storms arrive, calm when chaos surrounds you, and focused when distractions pull at your attention. Emotions are powerful. They can drive you to act, but they can also destroy your focus if you let them rule you. Anger makes you reckless, fear makes you hesitate, and excitement can make you careless. Each emotion has energy, and if you do not master it, that energy controls you instead of serving you. True strength is not the absence of emotion, but the mastery of it. A person who feels nothing is not strong. They are numb. A strong person feels deeply, but chooses how to respond. They do not let anger push them into foolish decisions. They do not let fear hold them back from opportunity. They do not let excitement blind them to risk. They ride the wave of emotion without drowning in it. Think about the times when you lost control. Maybe you said something in anger that you regretted later. Maybe fear stopped you from taking a step you knew you should take. Maybe excitement made you rush into something that was not ready. Every time you lost control, the emotion ruled you. But when you pause, breathe, and choose your response, you take back the throne. Silence and emotional control are connected. When you choose silence in moments of conflict, you also choose control. You refuse to give your power away through angry words. You refuse to let others pull you into emotional battles that waste your energy. That silence is not weakness. It is emotional discipline. The greatest leaders in history were not those who shouted the loudest. They were the ones who remained calm in the middle of chaos. Their steadiness gave others confidence. Their control over their own emotions allowed them to control situations that seemed uncontrollable. People followed them not because they spoke louder, but because they stood stronger. Mastering your emotions does not mean hiding them. It means understanding them. It means knowing when to act and when to wait. It means recognizing the difference between impulse and wisdom. Every time you choose to control your emotions instead of letting them control you, you grow stronger. Practice begins with awareness. The next time you feel anger rising, notice it before it explodes. The next time fear whispers, question it before you believe it. The next time excitement rushes in, slow down before you leap. Each choice builds discipline, and each act of discipline builds strength. When you master emotional control, you become unshakable. External noise cannot disturb you, critics cannot break you, and failures cannot stop you. You carry a calmness that others can feel, a steady energy that makes people trust you, follow you, and respect you. That control is rare, and rarity is power. Remember, storms will always come. But if you master your emotions, no storm can sink you. You will be the calm in the middle of chaos, the silence in the middle of noise, and the strength that no one can move. Chapter 9. The Discipline of Patience. In a world that moves faster every day, patience has become rare. Everyone wants results now. They want success without waiting, rewards without effort, and recognition without preparation. But real achievement does not follow this timeline. True success requires time, persistence, and above all, the discipline of patience. Patience is not passive. It is not simply waiting and doing nothing. Patience is active endurance. It is the ability to keep moving forward, even when progress feels invisible. It is staying committed to the process when the results are still hidden. It is trusting that consistent effort, repeated day after day, will eventually break through. Think of a seed planted in the soil. Nothing seems to happen at first. Days pass, weeks pass, and still there is no sign of life above the ground. But under the surface, roots are growing, foundations are being built. If you lose patience and stop watering the seed, it dies before it ever has a chance to grow. But if you stay patient, eventually the sprout breaks through, and with enough time, it becomes a tree. The same is true for success. The work you do today may not show results tomorrow. The hours you invest may not pay off next week. But every effort builds roots beneath the surface, roots that are invisible but essential. Patience is what keeps you watering those roots even when no one else believes. Impatience is dangerous because it pushes you to quit too early. You abandon the process right before the results were about to appear. Or worse, impatience makes you chase shortcuts. But shortcuts often collapse because they lack a foundation. What comes quickly often disappears quickly. What is built with patience lasts. Patience also strengthens your mind. When you learn to wait, you learn to endure discomfort. You learn to delay gratification, to resist the temptation of small rewards for the sake of bigger ones. That discipline separates those who succeed from those who fall short. Many people are capable, many are talented, but few are patient enough to see the process through. Silence and patience walk hand in hand. Silence keeps you focused while others distract themselves with noise. Patience keeps you moving while others give up too soon. Together, they form a shield that protects your journey. You may not rise quickly, but you rise steadily, and when you finally arrive, you will be stronger than those who rushed ahead and burned out. Think of a sculptor shaping stone. Each strike of the hammer seems small, almost meaningless. But over time, each strike shapes the figure hidden within. The beauty does not come from one powerful blow. It comes from thousands of patient, consistent strikes. Success is no different. The discipline of patience is one of the hardest lessons to learn, but once mastered, it becomes your greatest weapon. Because the world rewards the ones who can wait, the ones who plant seeds, water them faithfully, and trust the unseen growth until the time is right. Patience does not mean doing nothing. It means doing the right things long enough for them to bear fruit. It means resisting the urge to quit. It means believing in the process when no one else does. And when you live with that discipline, you will discover that patience is not weakness, it is quiet strength. The kind of strength that carries you farther than talent, farther than luck, farther than speed. Chapter 10. Protecting your energy. Energy is your most valuable resource. Time matters, yes, but without energy, time is wasted. You may have the hours, but if your mind is drained, your body exhausted, or your spirit broken, those hours achieve nothing. Protecting your energy is not just about survival. It is about making sure you have the strength to pursue the life you want. The truth is, energy leaks everywhere. Every unnecessary argument, every distraction, every person who drains you without giving anything back, they all take away from your limited supply. You may not notice it at first, but little by little your focus weakens, your motivation fades, and your discipline slips. By the time you realize it, your energy has already been spent on things that did not matter. That is why silence is such a powerful shield. When you refuse to engage in pointless battles, when you step away from negativity, when you choose to stay quiet, instead of wasting words, you are protecting your energy. You are saving it for what truly matters. Protecting your energy also means protecting your environment. The people around you either fuel you or drain you. Some inspire you, challenge you, and make you better. Others exhaust you, distract you, and fill your mind with doubt. If you are not careful, your environment will consume more energy than your actual work. Choosing who and what you allow into your space is an act of self-preservation. There is also the matter of mental energy. Endless scrolling, constant notifications, meaningless chatter, all of these fragment your attention. Your brain is powerful, but it cannot operate at full strength when it is scattered. Silence, again, becomes the solution. By cutting out noise, by choosing stillness, you give your mind space to recharge. Even physical energy is tied to discipline. Rest, food, and movement are not luxuries. They are the foundation of performance. Too many people try to grind endlessly, believing exhaustion is proof of dedication. But burnout destroys everything. True strength is not in how much you can suffer, but in how well you can sustain yourself. Rest is not weakness, it is fuel. Protecting your energy also requires boundaries. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every fight deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your response. Boundaries are not about being cold or selfish. They are about recognizing that your energy is limited and choosing to invest it where it will actually grow. Think of energy like currency. Every day you wake up with a certain amount in your account. If you spend it recklessly, you end the day broke. But if you invest it wisely, in your work, in your growth, in your relationships that matter, you end the day richer, stronger, and prepared for tomorrow. Silence helps you protect this currency. Patience helps you invest it. Emotional control keeps you from wasting it. Together, these disciplines make sure your energy is not stolen by the noise of the world. Because in the end, it is not just about how hard you work, it is about how well you protect your ability to keep working. Energy is what carries you forward. Guard it like treasure. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. Chapter 11. Winning in public, without explaining yourself. There is a special kind of power in success that speaks for itself. When you reach a point where your actions are undeniable, you no longer need to explain, justify, or convince anyone. The results become your voice, and that voice is louder than any words you could have spoken along the way. The mistake many people make is rushing to prove themselves too early. They talk about their vision before it has taken shape. They explain their plans in detail, hoping for support or approval. But the truth is, Words without proof carry little weight. People may smile, nod, or even encourage you, but deep down, they wait to see if you can actually deliver. Winning in public is not about shouting your goals. It is about showing your results. It is walking into the room with quiet confidence, knowing your work already speaks for you. It is letting your success do the talking so you never have to. And here is the key. Explanation often weakens impact. When you achieve something great, and you start explaining how or why, you risk making it smaller. You risk justifying yourself to people who never earned the right to judge you. True confidence does not need explanation. It does not need validation. It simply stands undeniable in the light of success. Think about the athletes who train in silence for years. No one sees the early mornings, the sacrifices, the pain. But when they step into the arena and win, the whole world watches. At that moment, they do not need to explain their journey. The victory says it all. The same is true in business, in art, in life. The entrepreneur who builds quietly does not need to brag about long nights or struggles. When the company succeeds, the results are obvious. The artist who creates in solitude does not need to justify their vision. When the work is finished and the world sees it, the silence becomes irrelevant. The creation itself is proof. When you win in public without explanation, you also protect yourself from envy and unnecessary conflict. The more details you share, the more opportunities you give others to criticize, doubt, or even sabotage you. But when you simply appear with results, there is nothing left to debate. People may question your process, but they cannot deny your outcome. This is why the discipline of silence and patience matters. All the chapters before this one lead to this moment. Silence allowed you to focus. Emotional control kept you steady. Patience kept you moving forward. Protecting your energy kept you consistent. And now, when you finally win, you win with strength that does not need words. Remember, people respect results, not promises. They admire actions, not explanations. When you rise, rise with dignity. When you succeed, let the success speak. And when the world finally notices you, stay silent enough to let your victory echo louder than any speech you could give. Winning in public is not about noise. It is about presence. It is about walking into the room with proof so strong that no one dares to question it. That is the kind of power silence builds. Chapter 12. The legacy of silence and focus. When the noise fades, what remains is what you have built. The legacy of a person is not measured by how loudly they spoke, but by how deeply their actions echo after they are gone. Words vanish quickly. Achievements remain, and the discipline of silence and focus ensures that your achievements are not temporary sparks, but lasting fire. Silence is not emptiness. It is strength. It is the invisible foundation that allows you to create without distraction, to move without interference, and to grow without resistance. Focus is the tool that shapes that silence into something meaningful. Together, they form the discipline that separates those who dream from those who achieve. The world will always try to pull you away from this path. People will ask what you are doing, why you are so quiet, why you are not announcing every step. They will not understand, but they do not need to, because when the work is done, when the results are visible, all questions fall silent on their own. Success answers what words never could. Every moment of restraint, every choice to stay patient, every decision to conserve your energy instead of wasting it on distractions. It all adds up. You may not notice it while you are living it, but one day you will look back and realize that silence was not just a strategy, it was a way of life, and that way of life gave you clarity, strength, and results far greater than noise ever could. The legacy you leave will not be in the promises you made, but in the proof you delivered. It will not be in the explanations you gave, but in the victories you earned. People will remember not what you said you would do, but what you actually did. This is the true reward of living in silence and focusing in private. You do not just win for yourself. You set an example. You show others that success does not require constant performance for an audience. You prove that greatness is born in quiet rooms, in steady work, in the daily discipline no one sees. When you win in public after years of silence, your victory carries a weight that words can never match. And when your legacy is measured, it will not be measured by noise, but by impact, by the strength of your work, by the lives you touched, by the unshakable presence you carried. Silence is not weakness. Focus is not isolation. Together, they are power. Together, they are clarity. Together, they are the foundation of a life that matters. And when your time comes to leave your mark on the world, let that mark be undeniable. Let it speak louder than any words. Let it live longer than any noise. Because in the end, silence is not about hiding. It is about building. And what you build in silence will one day shine in public, brighter than anything you could have spoken into existence. Chapter 13. Mastering Inner Peace. Beyond success, beyond recognition, beyond all the noise of achievement, lies something greater: inner peace. You can build wealth, gain power, and win respect. But if your mind is restless, none of it feels enough. The ultimate victory is not what the world sees outside you, but the calm you cultivate inside you. Inner peace does not mean a life without struggle. Struggles will always come. It does not mean silence from the world. The world will always be loud. Inner peace means carrying stillness within. Even when chaos surrounds you, it means knowing who you are so deeply that external voices cannot shake you. This peace begins with discipline. When you control your reactions, when you resist the urge to fight every battle, when you choose patience over anger, you protect your inner balance. It is not weakness, it is wisdom. Because every moment you keep your peace, you keep your power. Peace also comes from clarity. When your vision is strong, distractions lose their grip. When your priorities are clear, noise fades into the background. You no longer waste energy proving yourself. You no longer burn yourself chasing validation. You focus, you build, you grow, and you stay calm. Mastering inner peace is a lifelong practice. It requires letting go of grudges, letting go of comparison, letting go of the need to control what is not yours to control. The more you release, the lighter you become. The lighter you become, the freer you feel. True peace is silent strength. It is the ability to walk into a storm and remain steady. It is the power to succeed without arrogance, to lose without despair, and to live without constant fear of judgment. It is not given by the world. It is created within you, and once you find it, no one can take it away. In the end, silence gave you focus, focus gave you results, and results gave you confidence. But inner peace, that is what allows you to enjoy it all. Without peace, success feels empty. With peace, even simple victories feel full. And when you live with peace, your legacy is not just success, it is serenity, strength, and unshakable presence. Chapter 14. The Discipline of Patience. Patience is the weapon of the strong. In a world that celebrates speed, quick wins, and instant results, patience feels rare. But the truth is, nothing meaningful is built overnight. Every lasting achievement is the result of time, consistency, and the discipline to wait without losing focus. Impatience destroys more dreams than failure ever could. People quit not because they lack talent, but because they cannot wait for the process to unfold. They want results now, recognition now, rewards now. And when the world does not deliver instantly, they give up. But those who endure, those who stay patient while continuing to work, become unstoppable. Patience is not passive. It is not about sitting still and hoping things happen. Patience is active endurance. It is showing up every day, doing the work, staying disciplined, and trusting the process, even when results are invisible. It is the quiet confidence that your time will come, that your work will pay off, that your silence will eventually turn into victory. Consider nature. A tree does not grow in a week. It takes years for roots to settle, for the trunk to strengthen, for branches to rise. If you rush the process, you kill the growth. The same is true of your goals. They need time to take root. They need space to mature, and your patience is what protects them while they grow unseen. Patience also protects you from desperation. Desperation makes you chase shortcuts, make poor choices, and lose direction. But patience allows you to wait for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right alignment. With patience, you do not settle for less. You do not panic when progress feels slow. You trust the timing of your journey. The discipline of patience also connects with silence. When you stop announcing every move, you give yourself the freedom to build slowly. You release the pressure of performing for an audience. You learn to enjoy the process instead of constantly craving applause. Patience allows you to build without fear, without rush, without distraction. Great victories belong to those who wait. Not because waiting is easy, but because waiting requires strength. Patience sharpens your vision, strengthens your character, and prepares you for the weight of success. Without patience, success would crush you. With patience, you are ready for it. In the end, patience is not about time. It is about trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your work, and trust in the silent process that builds greatness slowly. The world may be loud and restless, but you must remain still, disciplined and focused, because when your moment arrives, it will be undeniable, and your patience will prove itself as one of your greatest strengths. Chapter 15. The Final Transformation. There comes a moment when silence, focus, patience, and inner peace merge into something greater. That moment is transformation, the point where you are no longer the person who began this journey. You become stronger, clearer, and more unshakable than ever before. Transformation is not just about what you achieve on the outside. It is about who you become on the inside. The person who once needed to prove themselves now feels no urge to explain. The person who once chased validation now stands firmly in self-belief. The person who once spoke loudly of dreams now lets actions speak in silence. The final transformation is a shift from effort to presence. You no longer struggle against distractions, you are simply free of them. You no longer fight for focus, you live in it naturally. What once felt like discipline has now become identity. Silence is not a tactic, it is who you are. Focus is not a tool, it is your way of life. This transformation also brings freedom. You are no longer tied to the opinions of others. You are no longer controlled by the noise of the world. You are no longer restless in the face of waiting. Instead, you move with calm strength, trusting yourself, trusting the process, and trusting the timing of your life. The true power of this journey is that it does not just give you success, it gives you control of your mind, mastery of your emotions, and clarity in your purpose. Success, recognition, and victories are byproducts. The real prize is transformation, the person you have become through silence and focus. When you live in this state, you inspire without speaking. People notice your presence without you demanding attention. They see your results without you announcing them. They feel your strength without you needing to explain it. That is the power of the final transformation. In the end, the journey was never just about winning in public. It was about building in silence until you no longer needed noise. It was about becoming so strong within yourself that nothing outside could disturb you. And when you reach this place, you realize something profound. The final transformation is not the end. It is the beginning of a new life, lived with clarity, power, and peace. This is the legacy of silence. This is the reward of focus. This is the strength of patience. And this is the transformation that turns ordinary lives into extraordinary ones.